Yeah, Jono's staying cool. Just carries a sheet of foam everywhere you go.
Insulates me from the sun.
We're back on site this morning, and first thing, we're double checking some of the wall heights, since what we figured and what the plan said are way different, the numbers. Like, I'm talking a foot different on some of the wall heights on these single pitch roofs. So Jamie's got it drawn in SketchUp, and we're just checking it before we build them. What do you got?
Well, what I've got here is we're checking out the tricky bits where we have a wall height. That's our starting point, okay? And you can see the end of the truss would have what looks like a bird's mouth cut, like a traditional rafter. And as we scroll on up to the next crossing point, it would have something very similar, all right? So this line here, this continuous line actually cuts through the corner and pops out right flush on the inside of that wall section. And then at the top, this is typically the way these are built, with a little foot that's sort of an additional part. You know, it's not a notch out of the truss, but that's how they come, and so that's how I drew the wall heights. Now we can actually measure the wall heights and confirm that we are on the right path here. So I'm just gonna check from that corner. 13, 1 1/8 is the measurement.
Okay, and that's what we built that one.
That is good.
So we're on the right track.
Okay, and this is where we really got sort of confused. The drawing shows a 19-foot wall, but in actuality here, if we click on this tall wall, the measurement we're getting is 1710.
Oh, that's good news.
3/8. So it's sort of better. Now, this is not shorter than the drawing. It's just that they ended that measurement in an unknown location to me, higher up inside the truss system.
For some unknown reason.
There's no details about it. There's no definite point about where that dimension
There's no reason
goes
why
to.
they would do that.
And also the trusses are not designed yet, okay? So these trusses in the drawing are imaginary trusses that don't exist.
They're not actuality, like you just said.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
No way.
All right, let's build it.
Okay.
First thing, we're gonna finish what we started last week, and that's to take this wall all the way up to the top plate. We're getting set up here.
That's not gonna get us up high enough, I don't think.
Oh, you're right, it may not. Let me get up there. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I can toe screw these down, and then I'll have to do something else to get all the way up and get the top plate on it.
Is that good for that?
Check this out. We've got the world's crookedest board going in here, and that's on purpose because right now these jacks bow the opposite direction, and it's gonna be a lot of work to take them out and replace them. So we're hoping we can use this guy, clamp it tight, and straighten everything out and make it work without disassembling.
No joke, this might be the worst piece of wood that we've ever tried to use on purpose.
Do you want to try just pulling it in and see if you even can?
I mean, if you can and we stab a screw up top or strap, hey, we got ratchets.
Yeah. Our main concern here is not the door opening. We can shim the door even if the jacks are a little bowed, but this is actually gonna make the outside corner of their house have a bow out the same as that, and we do not want that. Jamie's gonna go ahead and mate these two boards together and hopefully straighten things out with a giant GRK RSS structural screw. Hit it.
All right, it looks good. That made it up good, matey.
We've got our plate on here now, and as you can see, we're gonna have to just work it back and forth to align with these cripples and beat the cripples around. Nothing's really straight unless we kind of make it that way, as with everything when you're building a house, I think. So we're doing one at a time, shoot her through the top, move on down. And hopefully when we get done, it looks straight and level and all that. You need a hand. I'm gonna pull it to the mark this way. I could maybe pull both ways. I can really only pull that way, so a little more. Oh, go.
Moved
That's pretty good.
Moved in that way.
Yeah, we're like an 1/8. I think we're okay. Did that straighten it out?
Yeah, it's pretty straight, dude.
That's good.
It's amazing how much we torqued it that it's actually straight.
I've never seen a square like Max's new one here, the old Thor valved. Never heard of that brand, but it's pretty cool. It's got little hex wrenches on it and little holes if you want to drag along and make a mark like a certain width. And it came with a special pencil
And a sharpener.
for doing that.
Sharpen
So
your lead.
we do have like 25 extra speed squares, by the way, you could have had
Well.
for free. He was asking how I did the roof pitch, and I see why you're having a problem. Because your square does not have roof pitch on it, just has degrees.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No way.
I didn't even notice that when I
You're
was looking at.
kidding.
No, there's no.
Dude, you're kidding. I was gonna say, dude, throw those.
Maybe it's on the back. Look on the back.
We might need that.
Is it on the back?
Dude, I think you should
I think it's the
send
same
it.
on both sides.
Oh, it is a good wrench though.
Hey, I got a special board for the bottom plate of the wall.
Oh yeah,
Right
look
here.
good.
Saving it.
Oh yeah, that's special. All right, my goodness. We've got plates for our next wall here, and this exterior wall runs on in and becomes an interior wall. So we're going to do it in one piece. It'll be stronger and not have a hinge point that way. And we're also going to have a cased opening here. It calls for a 2'8" cased opening. So normally we'd leave a 2 inches over 34 RO. But if we just go 34.5, it comes out even stud jack, which is nice, no shimming. So we're gonna roll with that. If it needs to get shimmed in later for some reason, we can always do that. One 5.2/5/8 is our stud. And we're gonna hopefully use all this offcut for something good. That's not great. Oof. Let me look at that one. I might be able to, the first bit of this one's okay. It's gonna get into that. We've got our wall framed up. It's about 13 foot tall, which is pretty tall to stand up like we're doing. So we are gonna tack the bottom plate, because once you start tipping up and you have a lot sticking out behind you, it wants to lift that edge and it may just slide on us. So we're just gonna give it a shot. We've got the guys from Pro Truss back out here to check out the roof system, because just like the floor system, we've changed everything and it's going to take a whole lot of figuring to figure it out. So Jamie just outlined the part of the house that's going to have these engineered trusses, and the rest we're going to conventional frame over the porches. And look how much bigger the house is about to get here, Brock.
Yeah, it's a little bit thinner.
Yeah, this thing was looking really small to me while we were building it, so I'm glad it's gonna get huge.
Yeah.
So our plan does have a roof diagram or a roof page. We're looking at it, has the pitch, they're single pitch trusses like that. We do need to figure out the overhang depth and the size of the fascia we're gonna use. There's a bunch of other stuff to take into account on what they're gonna do for our tails here. They do have a nice drawing for us here, but this is just a canned drawing. That's not even our roof.
They're the same.
I would love to just have a framing member that spans the 24 feet. But how are we gonna do that with a 12-inch member? You know?
16 on center, double top bottom cords.
Is it even possible? Because I don't want to go with a 24-inch truss like we did here, because it'll just mess up the stairs more.
All
And,
your
What about
elevation.
16-inch?
You run your ductwork.
ooh, he runs.
You can run
he
your
runs.
ductwork through it then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you to used car shopping. Let's take a quick break to thank today's video sponsor, Factor Meals. And they make meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your door. Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity, so you can feel your best all day long. I've been eating Factor Meals for a long time, and I love how they take the stress out of meal prep. They're ready in 2 minutes, no mess. I know it's gonna taste fantastic. I get mostly the vegetarian options, although there's great options if you want meat or if you have other dietary restrictions. They've pretty much got it all. It's been a great way for me to skip the fast food, have a healthier meal that tastes great, and keep going this summer. And Factor Meals are a restaurant quality meal. It's not something out of the frozen section at the grocery store that you heat up and you're like, wow, why did I just eat that? That was terrible. This stuff tastes amazing and I really love it. It's also really quick and easy to get set up with a customized meal plan by just selecting a couple options on the website and you're good to go. If you're ready to stock up on some great meals, have them delivered right to your door right on time, just head to factor75.com or click the link in our video description and use code Perkins 50, and you'll get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month's orders. That's code Perkins50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month's order. Thank you, Factor Meals, for lunch and for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to work. I drug one board out of this stack here, and like half of it fell over.
Yeah.
And Max is picking it all up.
Well, you know.
Thank you, Max.
You're welcome.
That was a bad move.
Maybe we should get down to the good stuff there.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff on top of that. We're gonna start on this wall that's angled from that wall to this one. It's a sloped wall, the same pitch as the roof. So I need to set my saw at a 312 bevel to make this cut, and I don't know what degree number that is, so I'm just gonna take the square, punch it over to 312 common. I can make a mark or not, but then I can look at the degrees. It is like 14 degrees. So I'm gonna do a 14 degree bevel. All right. 14. Hey, that 312 is a 14 degree, just for FYI. And we'll do that. And I'm gonna flip it because it's easier to hook on the long. 142 7/8. We're gonna try building this wall flat and staining it up. So we need to actually locate the top plate so that when we put the studs in, it's in the right place. I've got a mark for the high end and the low end. So this is all like real world dimensions. We're gonna snap a line so we get our top plate straight and tack it down with some screws. So here we go, point to point. Yep. Okay, and that should be the very top edge of that plate. Now we need to make marks for stud layout on this top plate. The bottom plate was easy because it's true. It's running flat to the floor. It's not at an angle. This is at an angle when we stand it, so the layout is not going to be the same. There's two ways we could do it. One is just to pull off the exterior wall perpendicular to the exterior wall, the same as this bottom plate, and just pull numbers. Like for instance, I could grab this 16. I'm pulling perpendicular, it's the center. So there and there. If I mark those across at a 312, there's your stud. The other thing we can do is do math and figure out what the distance between each center is at a 312 pitch and mark it on there that way.
Let me sketch it up. I'll give you a number real fast.
Okay.
All right, so I double checked in SketchUp to see what is the length along the angle of the top plate between each stud if they're 16 on centers horizontally, and the number is 16 1/2 inches, so it grows by that much. And we can actually just measure down the length here, 16 1/2 from the top of one to the top of the next one. All right, now we do have our window opening, and that's a little more difficult because it's out of layout, so we can't even use the layout. We may have to just chalk some lines, make some measurements, and just work it in, you know.
Yeah, so if you didn't realize it already, why these single pitch roof homes take a lot of work to build the walls, you just saw it. Every stud is cut and measured and beveled or something crazy. There's a lot more going on than building all flat top walls. Another wacky thing with cutting these studs with a bevel cut on one end is you cannot flip the stud to do the crown up like you can on a square cut stud because it'll only go one way. So we're having to sight the stud for crown and then orient it to where when I do this beveled cut, they're all gonna be crowned the same direction in the wall, especially on this one's gonna have cabinetry against it. So that's another added layer of thinking or whatnot to get each stud cut. We've got all of our studs in that run up to the top plate, and now we're doing some headers and we'll cripple on up the rest of the way. And since this is not load bearing, it's running the same direction as our roof trusses here, we use these double flat 2x6s. Again, not a load bearing header. And we made this wall tall enough where we don't need a double top plate, since again, it is not load bearing. You know, we're gonna have to do some blocking. I wonder if we should go ahead and do it, fire blocking at 10 feet. Can't have taller than a 10-foot wall cap. Although, depending on the insulation, they may count the insulation as fire.
I think
stop.
That's what we do.
Okay, we'll just wait. It might be better too to get the sheathing on.
Because then you can bang it tight. Massimo. It is a weird.
So I'm not sure if the guys believe me yet or not, but we did get what we were looking for here. We are flush with a double top plate down on that corner where Jason is. And then on this corner, we're flush with our first plate. And then that plane will project on out and end up on that corner of our double top plate, kind of as I have that line drawn there, because our truss has a bird's mouth here. And then it will go on up from that point. So I think we did it. We are rocking the new red lithium Forge M18 battery today. I've got a couple of those from Milwaukee. We're gonna see how they do. I know that we tested them at the Milwaukee facility and they were strong and long and down to get the cutting on. Anyways, these will work on all the M18 tools, even older ones, give you more power.
I just realized we have to build walls around this whole entire house.
Yeah, hope you're not busy for a couple months.
Holy crap. Wow. I was thinking, oh, a couple interior walls, this won't be bad. And I was like, I forgot we gotta build walls around this.
Hello.
And then we have to go up another one.
Yep.
All right, so we got a big opening there, a double opening. Let's
Is
see.
it really double or is it separated?
I see one that says kitchen, but that's probably the 3. 24 by 54 and a half. Yeah, here's a double kitchen. That's looking promising right there. Wow, 8 feet wide, 6 feet tall.
97 by 72 and a half RO. So it looks centered on the sink, but not on the wall.
Let's see,
Where's the dimension?
There's not a center line. Like, see, there's the center line out of that one.
Yeah,
This one doesn't have
I
one.
see that.
A 36 plus a 24 dishwasher plus a 36 sink.
Plus half-inch drywall.
Yep.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I think that's the safest thing.
That's pretty guaranteed
Go
to
on.
work. What do you think, Max? Is that what you would do with that?
That's, yeah. Well, I was gonna say to do that, but
Okay, good. You got it right. Dishwasher, 24 clear. Standard anyway, right there. And then if we had a 36-inch cabinet for the sink, it would be right there. So 18. 18 would be the center. Coming back at it, we have 78, 3/4. 78, 3/4.
Center line.
By 48 1/2 right there.
Okay.
American inches. 97.
97.
0, jack.
Jason, what does this say? 33/8 SP plus?
No, that says 30 and 3/8 to the short point. That's like a S.
Asterisk. Okay.
Why didn't you do
I'm finding up there.
We've got Max back up here after he swept the entire downstairs of this whole place and then erased all of Jamie's multiple stair marking marks that he marked in
Again.
pencil. Again, great job on that. And now we're working on some fire blocking. And we're doing this at 5 feet high. There can't be more than a 10-foot chase, like above or below. But it doesn't mean you have to put the blocking at 10 feet because then you got to get on a ladder and do it.
No.
Another little pro tip Jamie's got here for you.
Well, we like to measure the length of the blocking down at the bottom of the plate where the layout is marked because the studs can be bowed side to side. Now, he cut this one the right length. Go ahead and try to stick it in there. You can see exactly what I'm talking about. Is at least
It won't go.
not going to go. So I have to pull this in and give him a little wiggle room there. So now this should actually be spread parallel.
All the
Now,
way up.
I didn't measure at the top. Okay, so I'm just going
It's going to be really close.
I'm just going to really hope that that's
Yeah.
right. And then this one, I don't know if it's going to fit either. It might be a little bit long too.
Yeah. Third pro tip is what you're doing already, Max. We're staggering these so you can nail the ends of them straight in
That's
on
right.
every single piece. They don't have to be in a complete straight line. unless you're super OCD and that kind of thing bothers you, which I'm surprised it doesn't bother me, honestly, but it
No, I
doesn't.
like this alternating thing.
Yeah.
I can deal with it. I can live with it.
Just pretend like you're having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
We're wrapping out for today, but I do want to point out that Metabo did send us a new drill, a triple hammer impact for the one they saw that I had burned up eventually. I used it for a couple years and I did like it. They sent us a free one and I already have a new impact. I got a Milwaukee and Jamie wanted a new impact, so it's his now.
Of course I did.
So thank you, Metabo. There is a deal. I'll put it in the description. Like if you buy something, you get one of these for free or something like that.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, enjoy.
I appreciate the drill. It's
Yeah.
actually really nice.
Yeah, it's fast.